Ladies and gentlemen, Jimi Wanjigi has been arrested by the DCI, and that is why you see that thumbnail of Jimi Wanjigi arrested. I want you first to listen to this. Maybe it will help us to understand why he is being arrested or why people are saying what they are saying.
Of this nation, and I can tell you he's compounding it. That Ruto must go is a clarion call even in my heart. He must go. William Samoei Ruto cannot solve problems that he has helped create. He cannot. God will never even bless him with that. If you had the brain, you'd never have created them in the first place. He has created such problems in this country to do with money, to do with the economy of this nation. And I can tell you he's compounding it. He cannot solve it. He's part of the last wreck that has happened in the previous regime, and he's creating even more mess now. He cannot solve it. Every day William Ruto is in power, I want Kenyans to know, it is more and more pain. He has no solution to this.
So how, because you have a copy of the Constitution of Kenya there, how would you propose he leaves office?
He should resign like yesterday. And his government should resign. Rigathi Gachagua should resign. The speaker was already cancelled by Gen Z when they went to the floor. They, under Article 1, already took back that house called Parliament. And on the following Thursday, they were going to take back State House, which meant the people have taken back power as Article 1 of the Constitution. And it must be clear to everybody, the Constitution is not above the people. The people are above the Constitution. State officers are below the Constitution. So it's the people first, the Constitution, and then state officers.
All right, you say that
Ruto must go is a clarion call.
And the man, Jimi Wanjigi, was arrested when he went to the DCI. And, you know, sometimes you wonder who advises the government. Because whatever they are doing is something that is igniting a fire that was just about to go off. I want you to listen to what Kenyans are saying about Jimi Wanjigi. That interview, actually, let me acknowledge, that was carried out by Yvonne Kwara of Citizen TV sometimes back. And this is what people are saying after the arrest of Jimi Wanjigi. Unajua watu wanaongea mambo mengi. Number one. People are talking a lot. The DCI, this Jimi Wanjigi who tweeted this, the DCI have illegally arrested me despite numerous court orders barring the same arrest. So you can see that the government of William Samoei Ruto promised Kenyans that it was going to obey all the court orders. And you can see how they are breaking these court orders. You can see how they are disobeying these court orders. So William Samoei Ruto's government comes out as a government that does not support the rule of law. Somebody else is saying, that is Anwar Sadat. DCI is turning out to be an extension of the UDA. Active participants in political persecution of individuals perceived to be political threats to Mr. Ruto. Very unfortunate. Again, you see now, the apparatus of these states, the apparatus, I call them the apparatus of violence, vyombo vya dola, they are being misused by the government. And you see, this is wrong in my view, because also the president had also promised Kenyans that there is no way that people who had opposing opinion would be arrested for expressing themselves. This look like persecution from all angles. Naomi Waithera is saying, freedom coming soon. We start. You see now, they are now igniting the fire that was already going down. And kijana wa baba anauliza, is this the reason why the Kenyan government fear Jimi Wanjigi? In fact, we ask ourselves, why is it that the government fear Jimi Wanjigi? Is it because he exposed the debts crisis that Kenyans are paying and they don't owe this kind of debts, according to Jimi Wanjigi? Akula anasema hivi, it is still clear that President Ruto is surely continuing to invoke anger in citizens. The more DCI tries to censor people like Jimi Wanjigi, the more he is becoming unpopular. Seems he didn't understand what made Uhuru unpopular in this last 4 years of his last 4 years of the presidency. You see, these are people expressing themselves that William Samoei Ruto is becoming very, very unpopular because of whatever is happening in this country. It looks like a police state. The policemen are all over arresting people anyhow. The policemen are there, the DCI abducting people, people missing. Some of them up to this moment hawajulikani hata wako wapi. Nakuru Mayor is saying arbitrary arrest, fabricated charges, sponsored by their partner in crime, Office of the Deputy Public Prosecutor. This is what he's saying. It is very sad. Very, very sad. And somebody else is saying, Chairperson Ian Subol, no one is above the law. And I agree with Chairperson, no one is above the law. It could be the president, could be the DCI. The entitlements on ground of being wealthy and therefore untouchable is long gone. If you have committed a crime, we are not disputing that. If the government can be able to prove beyond any reasonable doubt that Jimi Wanjigi is a criminal, then that the law takes its course, as a Chairperson is saying. But you remember, there was a time, I think sometimes back, that Jimi Wanjigi's photo appeared on the obituary. That was during the era of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And that time, I remember, was very, very mad. I felt bad. I imagined, what made these people to put the photo of Jimi Wanjigi on the obituary, saying that he is dead? Dida is saying, William Ruto working overtime to delete tweets and now sending Erupt boys to arrest you, despite barring court orders, is new law. You know what is happening in this country? Kenyans are very, very much informed. Very, very much informed. In fact, there's nothing that is happening in this country, and there's nothing that will happen na ikose kujulikana na watu. And government is saying, what Ruto can't see is Kenyans are now awake. It is true, by the way, this is what I was just saying, that Kenyans are now awake, and there is nothing that can happen without Kenyans knowing. Somebody is saying, Katie is saying, this is totally unacceptable. You see, Kenyans are saying that this one cannot happen. Amazing Kisi, anasema nini, let us help him get justice. Douglas Orang, seems court orders are like toilet papers nowadays. Time for judiciary to jealously guard its reputation, if any. Yes, Douglas is calling the judiciary to guard its independence, because you see, they refuse to obey court orders. And then the man is also taken back